Some people ask me why I am so big on video games. I'm a grown man, and yet video games are on my mind more than just about anything else these days. See, I'm an investor, and I like to understand where things are going. And something is happening here that is near magical, in my opinion, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. You see, I believe in 2024, it's going to be a year that most of the world wakes up to cryptocurrency and the crypto space. As they do, there is a potential for the biggest narrative within crypto to be blockchain gaming. Across the world, video games are becoming more and more important within most cultures. Video game revenues continue to climb, but prior to blockchain, most all games didn't give you ownership of your own items that you earned within the games. Blockchain is changing that, and it's my belief that the first highly used metaverse might not be a metaverse project itself. It might just be an open world blockchain gaming project. And our guests today are leading a company that I think has a good chance of potentially being that company. So stay tuned as they join us to talk about the latest with their game that they're building. Welcome to the Crypto Rain channel and our family. If you, like me, came into crypto because you realized the potential for life-changing gains over a 4 to 8 year period, and you're looking for discussions on becoming a solid, unshakable, savage crypto investor, like a Navy SEAL in the crypto investing world, you're in exactly the right place and with the right family, the Rainmaker family. The reason I created this channel is because I was once new to crypto 7 years ago myself. And back then, I was looking for a crypto channel and a network that understood crypto as an investment and discussed the important things like investment cycles, projects, the pros and cons of those projects, and especially had interviews with the people leading those projects, because I found that was the very best way to get the best information on those projects. Well, I didn't find what I was looking for, so I created it. And it's not just me anymore. It's a whole family of Rainmakers. And you'll find our Rainmaker family here in the chat. You will see some in our free Telegram group. The link to that is below, and you will definitely find them in our private Patreon group that allows you access to the Rainmaker private Discord. And this is where the best discussion, best info is. There are other benefits too, but you'll have to join us to find out. Do note, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a crypto investor myself. I am only going to be asking our guests about their game. I'm not going to be asking them about their token. I'm not going to be asking them about values related to the game, just the gameplay, what's going on. So if you haven't already, make it rain on that like button, strap in for the show, and put your hands together for Rob and Josh for joining us from Cornucopias. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
Hello there.
Yeah, I love it. You know, it's always a little bit tricky to get our schedules all aligned, as Rob and Josh are in like opposite sides of the world. So we appreciate you making time to join us to talk about what's going on with Cornucopias.
Yeah, man, I apologize for the headache and getting the scheduling across the line. Feels like we've been talking for 2 months now, but yeah, thanks for the persistence.
Well, it's a good thing that you guys are so busy, right? I do see, like on your Twitter feed, so much stuff coming through. And so, you know, I am heavily invested in Cornucopias, so I want that to be the case. I want tons of stuff to be happening.
Well, thanks, man. Thanks for supporting, being a part. It's good. It's good to have community like yourself, and we have an amazing community, as you've seen, which is one of our biggest strengths. We were very careful to cultivate a very organically grown community where we show them what we're building all along the way, like we do in our show Kopi Cafe. But yeah, we've been building relationship with them, and you know, taking the slow approach rather than the easy win of mass marketing in the very beginning or whatever has been huge for us. And then now we get to really turn on the marketing this year because we've got a solid foundation and a solid product put together. So,
yeah. Now, most of my audience is familiar with Cornucopias. We followed you since before you even really launched. But if someone is rather new, they might not be. For someone that is new, what is Cornucopias?
Oh, I can give you a little lore there. So Cornucopias is a AAA quality MMO RPG that's set where in an alternate universe where humanity has ascended away from the earth into the clouds, into these islands in the sky, so to speak. And each of the islands has a different game experience, different game mechanics, all sorts of things that you can do. So within Cornucopias, you're traveling around space from island to island or dome to dome to have choose your own adventure. Have the adventure do what you want to do. So we have a racing dome that's currently live. The game is in pre-alpha, but then we're also going to have farming and cultivating your land and building up your property and fishing and all sorts of stuff. So there's a lot to the lore of Cornucopias, but basically there was a great calamity on Earth that caused people to have to exodus, and the same technology that caused that calamity is used to build up these futuristic marvels in the sky that you get to go around and experience as a gamer.
Yeah, you mentioned a few of the things that you'll be able to do in the metaverse. So you'll be able to cultivate your own land or farming, a little bit of fishing. I know I've watched some of the other stuff, mining. What are some of the different things that people will be able to do within the game like that? And then skill trees possibly associated with that.
Yeah, I mean, as well as fishing, we have mining. I mean, we're an MMORPG, you know, so people will be able to explore these huge worlds. We've got coming out this year. We've already got a huge racing dome where players can run around in Toledo Valley, which is kind of like a Vegas-esque kind of place with kind of shopping malls, and there's a little rumble balling game in there where you can have like an early version game of football, but then you can move through the game. There's a little mini game in there where you can go and collect holo caches, so it's kind of like a find and seek, early days exploring. We have a whole music section where you can go and listen to an artist in there. So we have some live music experience in there with these huge speakers. And then when you go through to the hotel, you can go up into the racing pavilion where you'll see a lot of our racing vehicles, which are actually NFTs, you know, utility within the game, and then go racing. And later on in the year, that will become an entire esports game. So that's just what we have at the moment on test pre-alpha. So, you know, we've got thousands of people that are in there able to test that. But coming later in this, we're doing a monthly build. Next week, I think it's next week or the week after when we release it, we have the inventory system. So people will be able to collect things and put them in their inventory and in the backpack. And so that's leading up then into the following month's delivery, which will be the character creator. So you'll be able to morph everything, move your face, your body, whether you want a 6-pack or whether you want you know, more heavy stocked, however you want to be. And then the following month after that, will be the very first of our largest theme zones, which will be Solace 1. And this is a huge 8-kilometer by 8-kilometer dome where, when we're talking about players owning their own land, and you'll be able to go mining in there. There'll be multiple lakes, so you'll be able to go fishing. There'll be hunter-gathering kind of style. There'll be creatures in there, so there'll be some danger. We'll have bears in there. We'll have people will be able to go and gather wood and do logging and build up their own plot. And yeah, there'll be lots of district versus district competitions. And yeah, and it's all going to start kicking off this year very, very soon. By the end of the year, we'll have 9 of those huge domes for players to own land and explore. I mean, there's a lot of content coming this year.
Yeah, and to give some perspective to 9 domes, these are 9 domes. I don't know that they'll all be 8 kilometers in diameter, but an 8-kilometer dome takes 2 hours to walk all the way across from one end to the other. So when you look at that as being a circle, that is an enormous amount of space to explore. And we'll have 9 of those. You probably could not explore every square foot. It would take a long time to do that. So that just means there's a lot of space that we've created and a lot of new experiences that people can have within Cornucopias.
That's moving quite well. That's pretty exciting. I've been following this development for a long time, and I love where you're going with this. And especially over the last number of months as I've been thinking about it. So, you know, I've been in crypto since 2017. And I love this idea of like metaverses, right? Like Decentraland. I remember when that released, I was like, oh, this is such a good idea. But when I saw those launch, I was like, cool, they have this metaverse, but there's nothing to do in it. The more I've thought about that over time, I think really the first metaverse project is actually a game, because the game is built around these things, and it'll be an open world game where there's actual stuff to do. And that's going to be what attracts hundreds and thousands of players. And as you mentioned, even in your closed pre-alpha test, you already have tons of people very interested in testing it. I think that's what attracts a lot of people to it. That does lead to the question that games have to solve the same problem as metaverses do, which is how many people can you host at a time? And that will probably scale more over time. Where are things at now? Like how many people can be on the same servers, that kind of stuff.
Well, I'll let Rob comment to more of the tech side, but I do want to say something about the significant point you made about metaverse versus game. We stopped really utilizing metaverse as the focus because, yes, we are in the metaverse. We're in the metaverse right now, and it's such a broad definition of what something can be. It's not clear. People aren't going to get the right impression. We're a AAA quality MMO RPG game that's leading with fun. And do we have some metaverse elements? And will we go more in that direction later in the future? Absolutely. But right now we're building an amazing, compelling, creative, inspirational game. And from there, once we get people having fun and we're really building up users, we could start to move more in the other direction as well. So it's a combination, and it's a choice that we're making where it's like, hey, do you want to have something to do when you come in here? Yeah, that's pretty important. It's got to be fun. It's got to be good game mechanics. It's got to be sticky. But Rob can comment more on the tech side of the infrastructure because that's more his wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, when we launched even Kalido Valley, we were really keen on not just having, like you say, just a walking simulator, a really nice looking place with nothing to do, which is why we launched with holo cash collecting and racing, and now we have Rumble Ball. We're building on those. But in terms of the tech of scaling, at the moment we have two. I mean, I know you say it's kind of private testing, but anybody that owns one of our flying vehicles or land can actually go in and do the testing. So it's not closed at all. It's open to anybody that owns it. But in the future, the game is free to play, so you won't need an NFT, and there is free racing vehicles and all that kind of stuff. But we currently have two tests. We're really, really early into testing. We're about 6 months in at the moment. We have an American server and we have a European server. So each of those are capable of about 150 people. But we're very early in performance and tuning. But over the last few 6 months or plus, we have been developing our matchmaking system and our optimization of our server hosting. So all that is going to come together in the next few months. So we'll have scaling. We're using Amazon AWS. So when we come to so around about summertime, we'll then really, I think we'll be in a position then where we can scale to something like what Fortnite can. We can have millions of players, but obviously we're not expecting millions of players by summer. But it's nice to know that we'll be ready should we go to say 10,000 players and then 100,000 players kind of overnight, because we've seen how some of these games, look at Power World for example, that had 8 million players within less than 2 weeks. So it's good to know that we'll be ready to scale.
Yeah, they had to lean on Epic when they ran into problems. So they got so much traffic, they're like, hey, please help. So they were leaning on Epic and anything and everything to be able to solve the problem. Crazy.
What a good problem to have. I personally love the open world like games, right? So I love MMORPGs. That's my type of thing where, like, economics wise, like when I play video games, which isn't as often as when I was 14, but every once in a while I lean towards, like, one of the games I like is EVE Online. I haven't played it in a while, but I played a lot in 2003 in the early days, and then 2018, 2019 to get a feel for where blockchain gaming might go. And I love the idea of, like, you collect things and you actually own them, which is something like EVE Online doesn't give you, World of Warcraft doesn't give you. But blockchain gaming and open worlds with blockchain that are blockchain enabled will give you. And that's exciting to me, that you actually own these things. So then if there's a value to them, you can then harvest some kind of value for them.
Yeah. And then, there's also another important distinction here between our MMO and traditional ones, is that our world is persistent. when you go into a land plot, there's only that land plot only exists and is owned by one person. You don't, in traditional games, you can go into a house and you know, a million people can own that same house because it's just kind of temporarily. But yeah, in our game, there's that one land plot is only owned by that one person. But because it is an NFT and it is stored on the blockchain, they have the ability to go and trade that. Should they, even outside our game, it's completely open, you know, so they can go on a third party marketplace and they can trade, buy and sell. So yeah, there is a big distinction between the blockchain MMOs and traditional ones.
So because people will be able to own that individual land plot, is there any exclusion, like other people can't go there, or other people can go there, but they don't own it? Essentially, that one person owns it and can therefore probably decide what then goes on it.
Yeah, there'll be permissions. There'll be in-game permissions, whether you want people to come in and farm on your land or whether you want to restrict that to certain groups. Maybe guilds just want guild members on their own land. Maybe people don't care. They just want anybody on them. So yeah, those permissions will all be built in. From the start, we've built in our own role system. So the whole game is controlled by roles. That's why we can allow people in certain part of the game. Some people may be able to go fishing in the future when other people can't. At the moment, if you own certain NFTs, like some of the flying vehicles, only you as the owner of that flying vehicle can use that vehicle, whereas those without that NFT can't. They're restricted to the free vehicles. So yeah, it's very, very powerful what you can do with blockchain. It adds a really exciting layer to game development.
Yeah. Now, if you don't mind me asking, there was recently a node sale. Could you tell the audience more about the sale and what do the nodes do?
Well, the node sale is ongoing. So it's started recently. I believe it started in December of last year on the Cardano side. And what's significant about this node sale? Well, there's several things. It's one of our first steps into interoperability with NFTs. So it's the first time we've sold NFTs on Ethereum chain in the base layer 2. So that's one thing that makes it significant. They're also on Cardano, of course. So now we're multi-chain with NFTs, which has always been part of our strategy. So that's the significant thing, number one. The other thing is that Base is early stage. They're getting a lot of traction, and that's one reason we chose them originally as the layer 2. And then on top of that, what the nodes do are Rob's already put together a proof of concept for it. And basically what it does is it helps so there's 20,000 nodes. There's going to be 20,000 nodes, ongoing sale. But the people that participate and hold a node license are helping to serve the game download. So now we've taken a step towards decentralization. We're always taking gradual, more and more steps towards being decentralized. This is decentralizing our infrastructure, removing the single point of failure, and speeding up the game download time for new users. So it accomplishes a lot, and it's actually a legit use case for nodes. And you get rewarded for that with Kopi tokens for providing that infrastructure. So it's a great way to participate in the ecosystem. And if you really believe in what we're doing, it's pretty awesome. And that's, it's really easy to access. Go to cornucopias.io and click on the marketplace link, and there you go. If you have any issues, you can always pop into our Discord and ask the community. They'll help you out along the way.
Yeah, your Discord is very active. A lot of, very strong community members that are very knowledgeable. They know everything.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me jump through and see. I saw there's some questions that came in. Shout out. We are live. So shout out to all the people jumping into the comments. Kopi Short says, hey guys. Ready for the corn alpha. There we go.
It's corn.
Let's go, Kopi.
Kopi Boar. Yeah, I know. I'm recognizing a lot of these names. That's great.
All right, here we got Corn Nation. Yeah, I like you that you focused on like people building guilds within it. I mean,
there's a few guilds going on. I don't know the total number of guilds. We got 2 primary ones right now. There's more than that though, for sure.
That guy looks mad. Uh-oh. Who looks mad? I don't know. Will gaming narrative beat the
Who
AI
looks
narrative?
mad?
Yeah, I don't know who it is that looks mad. Maybe me. I usually have like resting bitch face. It usually means I'm lost in thought, and people are like, "Why are you so mad?" And I was just like,
you're
"I'm
contemplating.
just thinking." Yeah,
Yeah, me too. I zone off.
Yeah.
AI. So Justin asked, "Will gaming narrative beat the AI narrative?" The interesting thing for me with the AI narrative within crypto is like, what does blockchain and AI have to do with each other? Just a tiny bit, right? So I see how blockchain massively changes video games. Massively. I think in the 10 years, almost every big video game will be on blockchain. AI, it's like, I think a lot of people are looking for a place to invest in AI, and they it's boring to buy like Google stock or something like that. So they kind of look for things, but most of the crypto projects that have AI, I think they're short of substance personally. So yeah, I don't know. I think the AI narrative will be big. I'm not focusing a lot on it. Blockchain gaming is the one that is most on my mind. Okay,
Well,
Cornucopias.
it's interesting with AI. Oh, sorry. Do you want to just handle some of these questions, or
No, go ahead on your thoughts on AI.
Well, when you take AI and combine it with gaming, it creates some powerful use cases for gaming. So we've definitely had our eye on that. We've got strategic partners in that regard. We're doing our research. We're utilizing it in a variety of ways. And one reason we picked the Epic game engine, Unreal Engine, is because they are forward thinking and they're already utilizing and bringing in AI feature sets within the engine that is helpful. And so that forward thinking approach was important to us. But then also having key advisors and partners that can help us along the way is huge. But yeah, when you talk about which narrative will be stronger, no idea. You've got gaming that's bringing real utility into crypto in a different kind of way. Like, not that there's real utility not elsewhere, but like gaming gets to bring in a lot of new users. And what's happening with gaming is right now the revenues from gaming are more than TV, radio, film combined. It's like that's a huge like the CAGR of gaming is insane. And so you have an emerging trend alongside another emerging trend with AI, and it could create some pretty powerful new solutions. I think things are going to be changing quite quickly. It's also scary when you combine AI, blockchain, and Internet of Things. That's like, whoa, then you get these systems like, I don't want to go there. That's the part I don't want to go into.
On its own, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we've seen games in the early days, they called them AI because we had kind of NPCs that really were on set paths that they used to walk. And then as technology evolved, some of the NPCs had a little bit of thinking time, and they were able to, if a player comes closer to them, they then kicked off some kind of animation, and they kind of knew they were there, and they went to attack them. But when you look at what AI can do now, because AI now can run outside of a game, but it can also feed into a game. So instead of going to say an NPC character and asking them the question, and then after 4 or 5 times they start repeating the same answer, now it can actually understand what's going on in the game, and you can actually use it as a tool within the game. So it can create story, it understands your lore, and it can feed into it in a whole new exciting way. So I think as AI becomes more and more powerful, and you get more real-time understanding AI in game, I think we're going to see a really exciting era for AI within gameplay. And I think AI and gaming, I do think it's one powerful combination.
Oh, very.
Some good
points. AI powered NPC NFTs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Powered by LLMs. There's an acronym of a mouthful of acronyms, but that's definitely a direction that we're going to go in, where you can own your own NPC that's powered by LLM and AI that enables you to communicate with your NPC and carry out tasks, etc. So we'll definitely go in that direction.
That's a fun concept, right? So you could actually like have an NPC like a farmer and be like, learn to farm. And so then he spends the next 2 months learning to farm really good. And then his efficiency in farming goes up and up and up, and essentially train your characters and they can learn some using AI to get better.
Yeah. An official bot
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
And Rob mentioned training it. So you train the AI based upon your lore, your data set, whatever it is that you want them to know, and then all of a sudden you've got an empowered character to communicate with. Pretty amazing. All right.
that is
Sorry, I
fun.
didn't mean to derail you too much from
Yeah,
questions from the
Vidimon asked
community.
a question for Rob and Josh. Can you explain the partnership with Dega? A couple people kind of like gave an answer, but in case there's more to it than that.
Yeah, I mean, I could give a start, and then Rob could probably add to it or whatever
Sure.
if there's anything that I miss. But we really like the guys at Dega. They one of the team members was formerly with IOG on Cardano, and left to start their own project. And it's their mission that makes sense to us. They're really looking to create waves in the Web3 space, and they've created technology where you can spin up your own chain, custom chain, in a very quick amount of time. And what that could do for us is allow us to save racing data to it, which would empower another ecosystem to build on top of our game. You know, so you could use that API to the Dega chain and put up tournament boards if you're a guild or something to that effect. And you've got provable, verifiable, who won the race kind of data. So that creates compelling use cases for tournament builders and ecosystem builders. And so we wanted to talk to Dega around that exactly. And you know, it turns out that they're great builders. Really like the guys over there. Carlos is, man, they've just continued to impress us. You know, as partners, they just continue to build, and all throughout the bear. So I love meeting people like that. So definitely huge fans of what they're doing.
Nice. S3YU, one of the admins in my own Rainmaker Discord, says, and he helps make a lot of clips. In fact, I think he probably made some clips of Cornucopias from a previous interview. I love to take my OG Bonanza to the racetrack. Such an awesome game inside a game. Scruffy Live says, so much potential with nodes and some, I think this is a question Kopi Short asked, and some airdrops as well for the node holders, right?
Yes.
Cool. Sir Peaches says nodes. What are you drinking today? I don't know about anyone else, but I've got my Rockstar here.
A Rockstar, all right.
Yeah.
I've got a coffee mix, some cold brew coffee with a little creamer and water. Rob,
I have a nice cup of Yorkshire tea.
Yorkshire tea.
I like a little caffeine in the morning.
I like a lot.
It's afternoon here in the UK.
Here we got Corn Mafia Guild joining us. Nice. All right. Ask Josh about Web3 growth and gaming growth. He knows what's up.
Is he talking about himself? He knows what's up.
That's game crypto, yeah.
Web3 growth and gaming growth. Yeah. I mean, you have one of the most powerful technological tools there is, and the paradigm of Web3 gaming is so different than Web2 gaming. With Web3 gaming, you get to build a community together and show them what you're building all along the way. And the community gets to participate through ownership of NFT assets and all sorts of things. So you have a very powerful element where you've got strong community feedback and you build relationship with them. And that's going to create an emerging Web3 gaming that brings real utility to crypto. And, you know, that's something that, you know, we definitely have real utility in crypto, but with gaming, that's going to create a whole new target audience that's coming in and learning about what Web3 is, as opposed to the Web2 paradigm, which is build in the dark over 5 years, 8 years, whatever, and then finally release something and then get feedback. That model, that's a tough one, you know. And Web3's got a powerful use case for building along the way in a lean startup kind of fashion where you're getting feedback with the community, with an incentivized community, and that creates something incredibly powerful. So I think with this next cycle, Web3 gaming is going to be the dominant narrative, alongside AI, sure, but like you're going to see lots of projects. There's great projects out there. There's so many great projects, and we wish them all the best of success with Web3 gaming because it's creating a new industry within gaming and a new use case. that's going to be very compelling. So you got a lot of successful projects that are going to do really well, bringing on new gamers into the crypto space. So very exciting stuff.
I like where it's going, building on that. Like, so you find ways to involve your community in a sense of ownership in the future of the game, right? So nodes are one way to do that. The asset ownership through NFTs is one way to do that. I was talking to my uncle in 2015. This uncle is so brilliant, and he was one of the original people behind Lotus Notes in some of the tech boom, and one of the most brilliant programmers. And he worked on some gaming stuff back then too. And in 2015, he said, the future of video games looks like this, that in the future, there'll be a video game that incorporates ownership to other companies, other people, to build within those video games. And he said, it hasn't been created yet, but that is going to be the video games that dominate across the whole world. And how prescient that is, because that is where blockchain gaming is going. And what it's allowing is kind of other stakeholders to have stakes in the future of the game. And that's what nodes do. That's what some of the asset ownership, the domes,
custom domes,
larger domes and custom domes that can be done, right? That's where this is all going.
Yeah, I mean, I think by providing tools, technology's moved on now. The bandwidth is there, and so are the building tools. And if you build tools within your game, because Cornucopias is a platform as well, is a platform for builders and creators. If you give them the tools, they will build and they will come.
Yeah, and prior, like, there were some very good games out of there. One of the best of all times was World of Warcraft, but it's very much like a monarchy. It's like Blizzard says it's going to be this way, and anyone who does anything outside of these bounds, like, your account is banned. And there's no like ownership. You don't own your items. You're essentially renting them. And so though it's fun to play and they built a good game, you didn't have very good access to feedback. You didn't really have a true stake in the future of that game. That's changing with blockchain gaming.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. And Rob just quoted a movie. I'm wondering if you identified it.
No.
Build it. They will come.
Yeah. A Field of Dreams with Kevin.
Yeah, dude. Good job. Live.
Yeah, we're long enough. Know that one. All right. Let's see. Thumbs up for Rob and Josh for doing a Copy Cafe episode nearly every single week. Got to respect that dedication.
Thank you.
Agreed. That's part of the cool thing of being able to like feel like you're part of going this. So you do a great job at releasing updates, keeping everyone informed. I think Cardano from the beginning in the community was kind of founded with that principle. I think that's one of the reasons why the Cardano community is as strong as it is just kind of the interaction with the community and keeping them updated and informed, even when the news isn't great, going ahead and giving it to them, because development sometimes has setbacks. And I love that you have continued with that.
Yeah, I mean, Ethereum's kind of the build fast and break things mentality, whereas, Cardano's, build it right first time, really. And then you can build on top of that. I mean,
and they both have their great, solutions. There's two different approaches there, and both are really needed. So, I
think that's the beauty of blockchain is, and building a game like ours is we can reach out to all the different blockchains and depending on where that blockchain is or what technology or what features they have, we can cherry pick some of the best features from say Ethereum. We can pick some other maybe governance features from Cardano. Then we look at some of the other gaming features on other blockchains, and we can merge them all together. So I definitely do not believe in being like a Cardano maxi or an Ethereum maxi. But yeah, having the choice of features from all the different blockchains, because the blockchain is so early.
I was talking to a good friend who's the chief marketing person over at WanChain, and they recently built a bridge to WanChain, right? Or from using WanChain, they built a bridge to Cardano. And they were talking about what they're working on next, which is the ability to write a contract, say on ETH, that people can purchase Cardano assets using their MetaMask wallet. And then not only does it send the funds over, it then purchases the asset, wraps it, and then brings it back to, say, their MetaMask wallet, which might be using Arbitrum, or it might be using some layer 2 or something that's cheaper like Polygon. And it makes me think in the future, right, that even like it won't matter. People will be able to access like Cornucopias from, say, their MetaMask wallet, even their assets that are on Cardano. In the future, a lot of where the ownership lies will be totally abstracted, and they won't even need to think about it. They just need to know that they own it and that it's relatively safe. And that where things are going is kind of like a blended future, in that it won't even matter
Interoperability.
whether it's on base or whether it's on Cardano or where it is underlying. A lot of the stuff will be taken care of on the back end.
Yeah, that needs to start getting more and more invisible. 100% agree.
Yeah, Chain is doing an amazing job. When we had that interview, I didn't realize how far along they were with that in building that kind of interoperability on Cardano to be able, with what they're doing with Cardano, to be able to bring those assets over. And the interaction between EVM and Cardano is not easy. And so they're first figuring out on Cardano, and then they're deploying that to other non-EVM chains as well.
That was news to me. I'm well familiar with Chain, but I didn't realize they were doing that for Cardano assets with MetaMask. That's a very exciting.
If you want, I can put you in touch with them, but that's exciting.
Please, I would love to chat with them. I like the project. I like what they're doing. I know they're doing NFT bridges in a variety of ways and different stuff, but they're all about interoperability, and so that definitely connects with our values. So yeah, please connect us.
Yeah.
I think it's because we're so very early in the space, we know such terminology as Ethereum, Cardano, blockchain, Web3. You know, when you go to a website, you don't know whether it's hosted on Windows or Linux. You don't know if the backend is MySQL, SQL Server. You don't care. All that has now been extracted away. But we're really early, so we know all these terminologies. So we can worry about them. But in the future, we'll just play a game. You won't even know it's powered by the blockchain.
Yeah, all you'll know is you have a sign in and that you have your account, you have your assets in your account, and that's all you have to think about. And that's what the world is going to. It seemed so far away, this other world where we'll be at, until that conversation earlier this week with Temujin from Louis from Chain. And then I was like, oh my gosh, that future is closer than I realized. All right. Game Trove says, good morning, Rainmakers. But Scruffy Live says, by the way, I love AI, but this is also how every single dystopian sci-fi movie starts. I'm just saying. ChatGPT equals Skynet. Life-changing AI-powered blockchain girlfriend, says Justin. Sailing, which good time friend. I love this man. He's a great man. So happy.
Hi, Sailing.
Three of the best. Welcome, Rob and Josh. Cool. Great question about Dega. All right. Afternoon, Corn Fam. Bill Gardner with the super chat. Will we be able to earn Kopi by owning land and using it? Great question.
Oh, after some alpha, paying for it as well, I see. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I can give you a little bit of alpha. I think we may have spoke about it before. Although we're live, aren't we? We can't edit this out. I'll have to be really careful. We're going to have seasons in the game, so just like the player levels up, the land will be leveling up, and wherever you are at the end of that season, there will be rewards for landowners, definitely.
Oh, that's interesting. Will there be, so you mentioned the ability to let other people farm on your land. Is there the ability to then maybe like put a tax on the resources? Say you can let anyone farm, but you get 10% of.
We're going too far now.
Now you're getting
too far down the road. Yes, like that's to be discussed.
Okay.
That'll cost more than $10.
Ideas we want to hear, and there's a lot of angles we could take. We can't get too granular with it because that's still in a planning stage. But yeah,
I can respect that decision is yet to be made because there's too many important decisions that need to be made before that.
Yeah.
All right. How do we see the acceptance of the nodes on ETH base layer 2? Alpha drop. Broad time frame for bringing the racing game live.
They've only been selling for a few weeks, and already we've sold over 1,800 nodes. So a third of the nodes. We've got 20,000 nodes split, 50% over Cardano and 50% over Ethereum. So a third of those nodes have already been it's sold across the two. So I mean, they're literally flying off the shelves. It's It's really good, and we're now past the point, which means that the decentralization of the nodes themselves is at a really good space. The owners will be rewarded. There'll be daily rewards, and they will be rewarded for running those nodes. And that's a fixed pot based on all 20,000 being sold. So if we stop, say tomorrow, and only these 6,000 odd are sold, then they're getting three times what they would be getting. So it's really exciting.
But yeah, it's going to run till July, and that's the date that everyone will receive their NFTs, unless we sell out and also the tech is ready to run the nodes before then. If both of those things occur, then it can start sooner. And by the way, we've brought on a team member that's going to be commercializing the nodes and really taking that software to the next level. The planning is now done for the most part. The architecture is decided on, and it's going to be significant. We should have that in development next week, which is awesome. Very cool. I mean, Rob, you could probably speak more to the architecture of it if we wanted to go there.
Yeah, I mean, I developed a prototype a certain way, and then we had an architect come in. He had a different idea, which actually, we bounced that back into. We could see how going in this different direction is similar, but with the slight change. I mean, I can't reveal too much, but it actually opens it up to a whole new world. And one of the benefits actually to the node holders is they, when in the future, when we do different types of nodes, because we've got server nodes coming, and we've got some other options that we've been talking about. Those node owners will be in line to get those benefits or those other nodes. So there's definitely definitely a benefit of being an early node holder.
That's some great alpha for those joining us. Kopi Bohr says, great interview. I think Crypto Rain deserves an exclusive. Never heard before.
Kopi Bohr, you're smooth, sir. You're very smooth.
Kopi Short joined in. I totally agree with Kopi Bohr.
Being that it's live and Rob and I have not agreed on the spontaneous leak alpha, we can't do it. Sorry.
We got that started off a revolution here.
I love it.
All right. I did just pick up some more Kopi. Yes, actually. All right. Thank you, guys. That's what I was looking for. I wanted to tell the community how successful the node sales have been. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. It's going well. We're fired up about it. This year's going to be amazing, man. The fact that you've been following us all along, a good amount of the story, but it feels to me like, and Rob, feel free to bring in your opinion, but it feels to me like the first 2.5 years for us have been creating this foundation and this foundational rock that now we're building on top of, and things are speeding up. It's a lot more quick in terms of development. We've got our processes down. We're getting efficient. So we're now with this foundation starting to move to scale. And so I think it's going to be an amazing year with some awesome content coming out, and people are really underestimating where we're at. And I don't mind that one bit. When the time comes, people will start to really see, and a good amount of our community you've seen, chiming in, they really get it, which is awesome. And, but there's a lot of people out there that don't really know how compelling what we've been building is, and what we have going behind the scenes that's going to be coming out this year. It's exciting. I mean, Rob, would you frame it any differently, or what's your take?
No, I think you're right. I mean, the first part is having a plan. Then it's building the foundations, and then it's adding on the content and scaling. And content and scaling is what you're going to see this year. We've taken on 3 new people within the last week. We're interviewing more developers, more testers. We've now figured out how to build these big worlds quickly. Solace 1 will be coming out in a few months. So it's already under test. And we're looking at Solace 2. We've broke ground on Solace 3. We've got 6 more worlds that will be built by the end of this year. We're working on fishing, mining, building all the content. I think a good a good turning point for us, or really kind of a big chance of exposure is when we do release Solace 1 and people realize that it's not just Kalido Valley running around collecting holo caches, doing a bit of racing. When they actually see the size of the world and the content in there and the bears that are running around, and they get a real exposure to how big and immersive and the level of details. We've got just over 50 people that are working on the game at the moment. This time next year, there might be 100 people. So we're really expanding on content. We're expanding on the team. We're expanding on marketing as well. Just every part of us is really growing steadily and at a really nice pace. And it has been from the start. I think we've got a really good grasp of how we're growing the company, growing the game, and growing the community. But watch out when Solace 1 comes out.
Rob did just kind of let a little mini leak slip. I'm not going to say what it was, but there was a little slip there. Might have been mentioned before, but definitely not much.
So right around minute 46 for those of you who want to go back. Cosinator says, get Crypto Rain into racing with the Corn team.
What's your game rig?
Actually placed in the top 2, I think, when you guys came to CNFT in Vegas. My first lap was actually terrible, but my second lap, I might have even been the highest or the lowest.
So CNFT con, not NFT LV?
It was
the first one?
CNFT in Las Vegas last year.
Oh,
when you guys
actually year?
First demoed the live game.
Okay. Then you played the racing one that's on Unreal 5 and okay. That's awesome, man. Well, then if you've got a gaming rig set up, then we can definitely get you in and do a race. We're down to do that. So if you want
I do have a gaming rig, so this computer is pretty powerful. And I haven't got into the test for a while, but I have access and have gotten in.
Okay, let's get you access. Do you have a 3060 or above graphics card?
I forget what I have. It's fairly decent, though. At the time when I put this computer together like a year and a half ago, like graphics cards were going crazy. So I didn't buy the very latest. I bought a $1,100 one versus like they were charging like $2,500 or $3,000 for that.
They're going to continue to go crazy. The good news is the more they bring out, the cheaper it comes to get like a graphics card that will work with us. So I think a new one.
New ones are coming out, I think, at the end of this month. I think the 4080 Ti's and the 4070
Super Plus or Super,
yeah, very exciting.
It's amazing what they're doing. All right, so gentlemen, I appreciate you joining for the public interview. We're going to jump really quickly into a private interview for those that are on the private Discord. For those on the private Discord, I will send you a StreamYard link if you want to jump in, ask your questions live. I thank everyone for joining us. Obviously, a lot of Rainmaker family here and a lot of solid Cornucopias family joining us too for this interview. I did want to give a shout out to one of the OG YouTubers that have been covering you very well, Crypto Crow. When I was new in crypto, he was one of the people I listened to most. He since has kind of gone specifically to the Cardano community and Cardano network, but he's given you guys a lot of coverage. Yeah. That guy is a great guy, and I love that he's been covering Cornucopias, sees the value in it.
I think he's been suffering lately. He's been training so hard for like a match, a fight or something. It's been, from what I hear, it's been brutal, tough on him. But we got a great relationship with him, and he's a excellent content creator. And I don't know if he's fought yet or not, but I need to wish him luck.
I don't think so. It might be this weekend.
Can you imagine being on the other side of that match? That guy is gigantic.
No, you don't want to go toe to toe.
Who would agree to that fight? I don't know. I would never.
Wipe me out in a heartbeat.
I know. But he isn't 20 anymore. He did a lot of MMA in his 20s, but still, I mean, he's got that old man strength now. So That other guy's probably in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I want to watch if I can.
I know, right? Well, thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to send you a link in Telegram in just a minute for the new. It'll be another StreamYard link just like this.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks everybody for watching.
Thanks everyone for joining us.
Bye bye, everyone.